Brought to you by our sponsors, William Richmond Inc., Farmers Home and Auto Insurance, the Bob Koski Agency, R.E. Graves Heating and Air Conditioning, Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, McNeil's Group Properties, the Charleston Senior Community, and Chesapeake's Bounty. Now, here's a weather alert update from JB Weather.
And good morning, everyone. I'm Forecaster John Bordash with you this morning to give you a live update. Now, sitting right around 10 o'clock, starting this a couple minutes early because these tend to last a little longer. But here to give you a live update on what it is we're looking at around across the region this morning. Coverage started here right around 3 o'clock, and we are approaching hour 7 here. So it has been a long morning, but we've been tracking this, and we've been watching this area freezing rain really move into the region. This is a look at William Richmond Inc. radar right now, and that blue line you see that kind of squiggles all over the screen, that is the freezing line right now. So locally, that is to our south and east. So that is allowing all of this precipitation that's riding up over the cold air to fall as freezing rain, and this is going to continue to be an issue, especially for areas really away from the coast. So what I want to do is really get an inside radar here. Let me get this loaded up. I'm going to get, again, take you right inside radar here, kind of just play around with it a little bit. So what you're noticing right now is that we are seeing a few areas of really very little going on. So we have a couple of these little dry slots that are working through parts of like Calvert County, St. Mary's County, Charles County. So in those locations, you might be saying you're not seeing much, and I would believe that. Freezing rain is really like finicky. You know, it's really hard to get a concise area to fall. But we have a lot of freezing rain down here to the south and east, and this is all pushing in. So areas that are right up along our coastal waterways, and you can see this here up along the lower Potomac River. These are the regions that are going to be at least a little bit warmer today. And by warmer, I'm talking maybe by like a degree or two. If we come back to this version of radar, what I can show you is put on our current temperature plots. And this is exactly what we're talking about. And actually, I'm going to come back over here. So it might be a little more difficult to see, but right now it is, and actually what might be a little easier is if I use a black pen so you can see that a little better. Right now it is 34 degrees down towards Ridge. It is 31 at Pax River, and it is 30 up here near California and Leonardtown. So this stretch of Route 5 here, that's what, maybe 10 miles is a good 15-minute drive. The temperature has a 4-degree difference right now. On a normal day, that wouldn't mean much, but today that really is so important. It's these coastal areas that are just going to be a couple of degrees warmer that are going to be maybe seeing a little bit of a break from the freezing rain. I do see a comment about nothing in Mechanicsville, and yeah, I believe that Mechanicsville is right up here, and you are under one of those dry slots right now. And we've been talking about this all morning. We could see some dry slots moving, and that is a good thing. That is something we do want to see. I want to make that known. This isn't like a snowstorm or anything where snow lovers want snow to move in, but we've been talking about these dry slots all day, and I'm going to let this kind of render through, and it'll stop being so finicky here in a second once it runs through here. What you'll notice once it gets its act together, you'll notice that the precip on the northwestern side of this really starts to fill in. And what was earlier a huge dry slot has really become just a couple of areas of dry air kind of entrenched. Before, it was from Culpeper to Louisa down to Richmond. But now we've seen that really kind of fill in as the moisture continues here to stream to the north and east. And we have a large area down here of a lot of freezing rain. And this is all moving due northeast. So while we have some dry slots now, and there are some dry slots in this as well, but the predominant feature here is going to be freezing rain. I mean, we have reports of a 1/4 inch of freezing rain here, here. Up here, we're getting close to a 1/3 of an inch of freezing rain, a tenth. I mean, there's a lot of different areas that are reporting a lot of freezing rain this morning, and this is all moving. This is all moving just like this, and it's going to continue to push in. Our moisture fetch right now is coming from the southwest, and it's moving northeast. And if we zoom out, now I'll take the temperatures and the storm reports off to make it a little easier for you to see. We have a frontal boundary right now that kind of sits a little bit like this, somewhere in there, right? So that's allowing for the focal point for all of our moisture to really train up like this. And we have a cold air wedge here at the surface. I want to make sure I'm getting the blue one here. That is sitting generally like this. This won't really erode too much today. It's pretty much going to stay right where it is. So as all of this precipitation rides up over the cold air, because the cold air is just here at the surface, this warm, moist air is coming up over our heads. That's what's allowing for all of this freezing rain to really get going. But why is it freezing rain and not snow? What I can show you, what I have there marked in blue, and actually I learned this last time. I'm going to come back in here to make the colors make a little bit more sense for you. This is going to be the freezing line, this pink line I'm drawing. This is the freezing line here at the surface. About, let's call it about 1,000 feet above our heads. I'm going to show you where the freezing line is. Again, our weather happens in a column of air that's about a mile long, and temperatures can vary greatly within that. Our freezing line right now, about 1,000 feet above our heads, is well to the north. I mean, it is all the way up here. So where you're north of the blue line and north of that pink line up here, there's precip that breaks out. It's probably going to fall as snow or sleet. That's supposed to be a slash mark. However, where you're in between those two, where it's cold here at the surface, but it's not below freezing above our heads, that is how you are getting ice. And that is what's really allowing that to kind of come through the region. And then where you're above freezing, outside of both of those zones, I mean, that's where it's just falling as plain rain. The question is, can we maybe erode this cold air wedge out a little bit more to allow for some warmer air to come in? And that remains to be seen. So that will be something we need to watch today. What I do want to do is take you over into everything. We do have this ice storm warning in effect. This is one of the bigger stories that came out overnight while you were sleeping. This ice storm warning got issued. It got expanded into Calvert County, and it is in effect now through 7 a.m. tomorrow morning. This is the first time in at least 10 years, if not the first time in like 15 years that we've seen an ice storm warning here in southern Maryland. Over a quarter-inch of ice. My local forecast for our region in terms of ice totals, it really is going to favor areas to the south to see a little bit more ice. So I'm thinking areas from Huntingtown to about Waldorf, south of Indian Head, and then areas south down towards like Lusby and Solomons and Lexington Park and down towards Callaway and into Westmoreland County. You could see up to a quarter-inch of ice today. And maybe some locally higher amounts when you get a little further inland. I showed you that tight temperature gradient there, and that really shows you why. Now, as we come over here, take a look at our live cameras across the region. This is in Callaway, Route 5 at 246. Traffic seems to be moving rather fine at the moment, but you can just tell based off of like the way that the image looks that there is rain falling, and it is likely freezing rain. We can see this continue to be the case. You could tell most of these people do not follow JB weather just because they're out driving today, and we can see the same story out here in Callaway. As we head over here towards the 301 bridge, the Harry Nice Bridge, traffic moving a little slower, but people are still venturing out. I would suspect that the worst time to travel, and again, you don't need to listen to me, but we'll get through these slides. I want to come here, is going to be this afternoon. Really after about lunchtime, in about the next 2 hours, I definitely would not recommend travel because we're going to see that large area of moderate freezing rain move into the region. And freezing rain does not look any different than normal rain. It appears the exact same way. I know in our systems and stuff it shows as, oh, this is pink and then this is green, but freezing rain does not look any different from rain. The difference is that freezing rain will accumulate ice on the ground because temperatures are so cold here at the surface. So that's going to be something that we're looking at as we go on throughout the day. Ice, again, we're talking about the highest impacts from that later on this afternoon, really between about 1 o'clock and about like 7 o'clock this evening. Let's walk you through Futurecast, and this should be loaded up. Are you loaded up? Oh, there we go. Okay. Let's just bring you all the way back. Maybe it's not loaded up. Okay. Maybe not. But this shows you generally, well, Futurecast gets its act together a little bit. Or what? Actually, here's what we'll do, because this actually does it a little better anyway. I'm just going to take our other program. The difference is that I won't show you a timestamp, so you all will rely on me saying stuff, but I'll try my best to convey that. So again, this won't be live radar. This is our Futurecast. Can I get that Futurecast header up there? No, it's all the way down there. I never fixed that. Okay, that's fine. So this is Futurecast for right now. It shows that freezing rain pretty much region-wide, and you can see those dry spots that have worked in. As we move forward an hour, getting closer to 11 o'clock this morning, it continues, and by about 12 o'clock, we're continuing to see this, maybe for our extreme coastal zones. I mean, right up along the Patuxent River, right up along the southern tip of St. Mary's County, right up along the immediate coastline of southern Calvert County. You are a little warmer to maybe produce... To allow for just plain rain, but even that could be a little sketchy. This blue line here represents that freezing line that is going to be very close to our region. And again, this is for right around 1 o'clock. This is very likely to continue, and those dry spots will fill in, and these deeper these deeper pinks here are showing that potential for heavier freezing rain. Moving it forward now, over towards 1 o'clock. So that was noon. This is 1 o'clock. Getting you on over towards about 2 o'clock. You see as you hit into the stride of the afternoon, right around 1, 2, 3 o'clock, that cold wedge is still here. We are still looking at widespread icing concerns across much of our region, denoted there by that pink, and it really is kind of highlighted here by this shade of deeper pink. So that is what we're going to be looking at as we move forward here over the next couple of hours. As we push over towards about 3 o'clock, maybe we begin to transition over to more of a rain for southern locations, but this might be a little overzealous. Cold air tends to stick around a little longer, so I might believe that this might be a little too wishful in its thinking. I mean, I hope this happens, but by about 4 o'clock, and then as we head over towards 5 o'clock, the precipitation is beginning to break up a little bit. And then by about 6 o'clock and 7 o'clock, you're seeing it's just about come to an end. Freezing rain showers will continue off and on throughout the night. However, the core of this, if we come back here to this timeline, the core of this really will begin to kind of wind down by about 7 to 9 o'clock. So I really think it is the afternoon and evening where we're going to see the highest impacts. That's why I would not recommend travel at all during that time span. Scattered power outages are possible, and I'm looking quick to see if we have any new reports of power outages in our region, and it doesn't look like we do at the moment, which is another piece of good news. So we're going to continue to watch this as we move forward. It's going to be a very dynamic situation moving forward for today, and I suspect that we will see these scenes of people driving across the region change a little bit as more freezing rain continues to work in. Again, as we come back over here into radar, let's take you over to current radar. Let's take the model off. We have a large region of more moderate freezing rain waiting just to our southwest, and this is all going to train here to the north and east. This is all going to ride over, and again, this is more moderate. We've dealt with more in the way of light freezing rain, maybe a little bit of sleet this morning, but it's going to pick up in intensity as this here moves into our region. And I still think we are talking potentially up to 1/4 inch of ice really focused in our region. Again, as all of this precipitation moves into our region. So stay tuned. It's going to be very imperative that you do that. Ice storm warning is in effect for all 3 of our major counties, Calvert, Charles, St. Mary's, as well as King George and Westmoreland County. That's in effect till 7 a.m. tomorrow. Prince George's and Anne Arundel County, winter weather advisory for lower ice totals, but you're still going to see some high ice totals. I still think in northern portions, you can maybe get up to like 1/10 of an inch of ice up here. So again, it will really depend on where you are, and if we are able, if I can take this off, things that could work in our favor to not see as much ice. If we do indeed warm up a little bit, if the precip is a little lighter, and if we have some dry slots that work in. So I think you can see that pretty well. I hope you can at least. If you can't, just let me know. But those are kind of the big things we're hoping for today. If we could get warmer, have lighter precip, and see some dry slots moving, that would really help. I'm not seeing too much evidence of that at the moment, but we'll see. It'll be something that we continue to kind of look at over the coming hours. This is really going to kind of be something we wait and see how it all happens. Brenda likes my tie. Thank you. It is bright pink to represent the wintry mix today to match the radar. Cancel open houses for the company today. Yeah, and Chris, that's a really good idea, especially getting out and seeing houses. I mean, there's just too much risk, I think, with that. So I agree with that. That's a pretty good call. And I'm seeing in here, and I'll use maybe more of like a yellow so you're able to see it maybe a little easier. But we are getting some areas here where maybe it's a little bit more moderate. Like we have bands setting up, just like we would talk about with snow. Maybe some bands of more moderate freezing rain that are developing as all of this pushes here to the north and east, which will all move through and cause more ice accretion. So stay tuned. I will continue to keep you updated. I have updates all day today. Facebook, that's where most of you are watching right now. On Twitter at JB_weather. Instagram at JBweather. And then the website, jbweather.net. So I'll continue to keep you covered. Stay tuned, please. And it's going to be very important that you stay tuned. Again, ice storm warning for all 3 major counties, Calvert, Charles, St. Mary's, and we'll continue to see this ice threat. I think most of us are still on par to potentially see up to a 1/4 inch of ice. So stay tuned. I'll continue to keep you updated. In the meantime, I'm Forecaster John Bordash. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'm going to go get some business work done on the business side of JB Weather, and I'll be back with you probably around 11:30 or so for an update, maybe more like 11, depending on what all happens. So stay tuned. I'll continue to keep you updated. In the meantime, though, I'm Forecaster John Bordash. Have a nice and safe one.